Hey everyone, this is Paul Gale from PaulGaleNetwork.com with Samus Aran behind me. Got my Nintendo Switch shirt on too. And Brooke is down here talking. Brooke is my daughter. Brooke Zelda. And yeah, that's you. She's 2.5. Yeah, you are funny. Anyways, I am here to talk right now to you about what Nintendo just announced, and that is the Nintendo Direct coming tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're in California, so it'll be at 3 o'clock Pacific. I'll be streaming it live, and usually I do a live recording and then put it online right after. This time I'll be streaming live and hopefully be able to keep that live stream / recording made available for later purposes to put online and whatnot. Okay, I'll get that for you. And yeah, I'm here to talk about a little bit of the hype of what to expect. What we know of so far is going to be, let's see, Daemon X Machina, that's a given. Luigi's Mansion 3, Nintendo said that will be there. Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, that I'm excited about. I think a lot of people are getting too worked up over Pokemon Sword, Pokemon Shield not having every character. I'll get back to that in a little bit of how I feel regarding that, but I am looking at it from a very different perspective, and hopefully after I share with you my thoughts on the matter, if you're on the side of being against the Pokemon company for not including all Pokemon, then you'll kind of see things from a little bit different viewpoint and be a little more understanding and be kind of okay with it because it makes sense. All right. But anyways, what else can we expect for tomorrow? The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. That'll definitely be there. Let's see. We already talked about Pokemon, of course. Luigi's Mansion. Astral Chain just came out. Probably some kind of surprise announcement. Smash Bros. Related, I think. I think we will get tomorrow the release date of when Banjo-Kazooie is going to come to Smash Bros. It could be available right after the Nintendo Direct. Boom! September 4th. Here you guys go. That would be pretty cool. Or it might be, coming in a couple of weeks, the first day of fall, for instance. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we get a new character reveal. That SNK talk has been, leak has been talked about, I should say. And, could it be Terry Bogard, another fighter? Could it be Mai? That would be very nice. Very nice. It'd be both a female character, which is a plus, and another fighter, which is cool. Or maybe it'll be somebody from like the Metal Slug series. There's a lot of people from SNK that are potential, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to that. If that is, in fact, what's going to happen, which kind of looks like it's gonna be it. We'll see, though. What else? Maybe some new footage from The Legend of Zelda, Ganon's Last Breath, or Breath of Ganondorf. Something, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. They're not going to call it Breath of the Wild 2, I don't think. But I could see them using some type of breath in the title, relating it to Ganondorf, Ganon. Maybe not, but it'll be really cool to see what a game like this looks like on the Nintendo Switch, built from the ground up. I'm sure it'll use some assets from, maybe most assets from, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, but it should look considerably better because it's made with the Nintendo Switch in mind. It's not a Wii U game that 50%, 3/4 into its lifetime started shifting focus to the Nintendo Switch build. This will be able to maximize the Nintendo Switch's higher flops, more gigs of RAM, modern CPU, GPU, faster everything, so that's exciting. Most of their focus, it said, will be on 2019 games, so like we discussed, Luigi's Mansion 3, which I'm looking forward to. We know that that's coming on October 31st now, Halloween. I played that one at E3 and had a lot of fun with it, so I think that's really neat. Pokemon, which I'm going to get into more in a little bit. Daemon X Machina coming out this month. It's now September. We just got Astral Chain. That was awesome. Really good game if you haven't picked it up yet. Astral Chain is a lot of fun. Really cool. And yeah. Okay, so about Pokemon, I said that I would get into Pokemon more. A lot of people are happy, like me, looking forward to the game. A brand new Pokemon title. Awesome. A lot of people are upset because, oh, Nintendo, Game Freak, Creatures Inc., Pokemon Company. You guys aren't including every single Pokemon that has ever existed. You know, after a while, gaming for as long as I have, I'm 36 now, I realized that not every Street Fighter character always comes back for each new iteration, you know? From Street Fighter to Street Fighter 2, a lot of people were dropped. But okay, let's look at Street Fighter 2, for instance. 2 in Championship Edition and Turbo, you got the 4 playable bosses. 16, okay, nobody was cut. Super 2, everybody was back, and 4 new playable characters were added. Super 2 Turbo, Akuma was added, nobody was cut. Then we switched it up to Alpha. A lot of people were dropped. You didn't have Zangief in there. You didn't have Vega in there. No Balrog. You know, no E Honda. No Dalsum. Alpha 2. Okay, some more people were added. Nobody dropped from Alpha, but still not everybody from the past. Alpha 3. Okay, now everyone's added. Then you switch to Street Fighter 3, which came out, you know, in between the Alpha 2 era, before Alpha 3 came out, by a little bit. Everybody was dropped. You've got Ryu and Ken, and then you slowly have, you know, Chun-Li and Akuma added, and that was it. By Third Strike, you only had 4 of the thought to be original characters from like the first 17, right? Then you go into your 3D Street Fighter games, the EX plus Alpha series and whatnot, and you go into Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5. Not everybody always comes. Not every stage always comes. This is the same with Mortal Kombat, with Mario Kart. You don't have every playable character returning. You don't have every course, every racetrack returning in every single Mario Kart game. Each new Call of Duty, yeah, they could say, hey, we're including every single map that you've ever been able to play in every Call of Duty game ever. Even if this one had a different timeline, this took place in World War II, this took place in the modern era, etc. We're going to include every versus mode map ever. That doesn't happen. Grand Theft Auto, yeah, it's a different game, a different story, but I want to be able to visit every area. I want to be able to visit San Andreas. I want to be able to visit Vice City. How come I can't do that? Oh, I don't care if this character lives over there. I want to see a cameo and have this character included in the storyline of every Grand Theft Auto game. Nobody expects all of those things. Smash Bros. Finally did it with, yes, everybody is here in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Every character, almost every stage, but still not quite every single stage. So, from that perspective, take it easy. Take a little breath. Sit back for a second and be like, you've gotten really used to Pokemon either having everybody added each time or sometimes not being independent and some of the characters, but now obviously you want everybody. But number one, it becomes increasingly more unrealistic to expect companies to put in everybody so much more because it does take longer to create the games. With HD assets, with more lighting, more shadows included, higher polygons, more textures, you know, larger file sizes, the expectancy that now you are on greater hardware, you need to make the resolution higher, you need to keep the frames higher. The cost is partially associated with this, you know, it becomes a $60 game instead of a $40 game, which is what most Pokemon titles were. But you also have higher quality music samples and whatnot. More voice acting. I'm pretty sure you're going to have a larger credits, and that's more people that have to get paid. And more Pokemon to be animated. File sizes get bigger, cartridge sizes get bigger, more space gets taken up. You know, if Pokemon is a very big game from start to finish, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, that is, it's a solid title, nice quest, a few hundred Pokemon to collect, a bunch of new characters, a lot of old ones, nice Mega evolutions, you know, the Dynamax evolutions, the Gigamax ones, I believe, which are like a side thing in there. Am I still live? Hopefully I'm live. Yeah, okay. Looks like I got cut off for a second. Good characters, cool storyline, good music, you know, smooth gameplay, doesn't dip below 30 or 60, whatever they're going to target. Just fun overall quest, meaty, solid online, nice trading components. Doesn't that sound like a good game? Doesn't that sound like something that you could throw at minimum 20 hours in, maybe 120 hours in? For your 60 bucks, that's a lot of value per dollar if you're looking at it just from that perspective. How much money you're putting in and how many hours of entertainment that you're getting out of it. You can't necessarily equate it to a movie, but if you do look at it from that point of view, you pay 15 bucks to see a movie in theaters for 2 hours and you leave. That was 15 bucks for 2 hours of fun. Here you're paying 4 times that, which is 60 bucks, but you're going to get a lot more than 8 hours of entertainment, right? And you get to keep it, and you will probably like it. You might not have everything that you want in it, but that's okay. If it's a complete game and if it's worth it, and Nintendo and Game Freak, Pokemon Company, they decide at a later point in time to include a DLC update where you have to pay. Let's say you have to pay, a couple $100, or not a couple $100, that'd be way too much. A couple hundred Pokemon for several dollars. All of them for, 10 bucks, 15 bucks, whatever it is. I think that's fair. I think that's reasonable. You could argue on either side of the fence, well, shouldn't they have just included that in the first place if that was going to be a goal? Maybe, but would the extra time, the extra development time guaranteed get them the extra amount of copies sold and the game probably coming out at a later date because more time would be needed to be put in it? So would the ends justify the means? Would they know that, okay, 2 million more people are definitely going to buy the game thanks to having every single character, and those 2 million extra copies sold, that's going to be an extra $120 million earned, and that's going to cover the development cost of, it's not going to be $120 million to make, a few hundred extra Pokemon, but is it going to justify the cost, Probably more people would buy it, maybe not necessarily 2 million, but all these factors go into it. And the timing, you have to satisfy investors. You need games that push hardware and hardware that in return, pushes games. It's a healthy ecosystem. If you don't have this game coming out this holiday season and investors see like, Nintendo Switch didn't sell as much as it did, well, that's a problem by having the game come out, a year from now to satisfy the fans wanting of every new character being added, and so on and so forth. There's a lot to go into it. Have a happy, strong, healthy game, and I think you're fine. It's a different story when a game is incomplete, and then to get a more full, complete experience, you're paying, the cost of the game just to get more out of it. Not to bash anybody. I love Street Fighter, but when I spoke with Capcom on the side, before Street Fighter V was officially announced, one of my good friends at Capcom did confirm to me, Street Fighter V is happening, but it might be a 2018 title depending on how it turns out. Well, it ended up being, I believe, a 2016 title, if I'm not mistaken, or did it come out before then? 15 or 16 was Street Fighter V? But anyways, they had the ideas ahead of time of how big they want it to be in terms of characters, story, more stages, and so forth. But to come out when they wanted it to, if they released it fully, would have been about 2018. They released it a little bit too early, but to satisfy the fans. They also had a deal with Sony and whatnot, and that's a whole other issue. Maybe another story for another day. But the game came out kind of incomplete. It was 60 bucks, didn't have a complete arcade mode. Story, not that many characters for today's standards, not that many stages. You're looking at what other people are doing, like Injustice and Mortal Kombat with their grand story. Didn't have that. And then later on, it got some free updates. And then in the last couple of years, you've had to pay a decent amount of money to have everything. I mean, if you want everything in the game, you have to pay a lot. Some of that stuff is fair. It's reasonable because, think of it as a block wall. You're contracted to do a block wall. You want it 20 feet long, 6 feet tall, and you're done. You pay for that block wall, it's done. The DLC is someone says, oh, I actually want another 5 feet added, and give me 1 more foot tall to make it 7 feet, and I want a stucco job to it. You have to pay the workers. You have to pay them for the material, so you have to pay for the time. That's understandable. Company doing DLC, they can't just give everything out for free necessarily because they have to pay themselves for their employees to make the work. So some of that DLC is understandable. Oh, Capcom's giving you more stuff for Street Fighter V, you got to pay for it. But some of that stuff you could argue should have been there in the beginning to make it a more full experience in the first place. I'm not for an incomplete game coming out just to come out on time and then us paying for what probably should have been there in the first place. But if a game is full and complete, rich, Mortal Kombat 11, I think I did a really good job with it. Solid game. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, excellent case. So much was given to you, and then it had some free stuff and then some paid stuff. That's understandable. Some people don't like DLC, but if DLC is handled correctly, I have nothing against it. You know, back in the day, you had to buy, spend another $60 each time you wanted a new Street Fighter. 2 Turbo, Super 2, small improvements over Street Fighter 2, but if you wanted it, here you got to wait a year or two, pay another $60. Nowadays, you could argue, well, you don't have to buy the new characters in Street Fighter 5. Is it less than buying a whole new game? Yeah, in some ways it is. You could kind of pick and choose, so, it's not that bad, and kind of can't really be too hard on them as long as it's quality, as long as it's good. So going back to Pokemon, like I said, if it's a full, complete, good quality game and it's fun, rich, gives you a lot of what you want, then be happy with that, and that's pretty cool. And if they decide to do any DLC later on, understandable that you might have to pay. I'll be okay with it, but can't speak on behalf of everyone, but just try to look at it from that perspective. Is it good? Are you going to like all of it? Are you going to have fun singing the music and, imagining yourself as the character and all that stuff? Okay, enjoy. Try not to be too negative about it. Also, the other thing is, games still cost pretty much what they cost 20, 30 years ago. Titles released on the Nintendo 64, Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Stadium, $60. 20 years later, Pokemon Sword, Pokemon Shield, $60. With inflation, the game should be a lot more. And you could argue that you're getting a much bigger, more full experience now for the same price that you paid then. So it's actually a, technically cheaper game that you're paying these days for more. And someone will say, oh, but they're taking away Pokemon. But they're also adding new, and you're getting other things and features. And like the ability to play online. What, it costs you $5 a year if you're smart about it? And what I mean about that is Nintendo Switch Online. What I did was I signed up for the family account, got 7 of my friends. Each person gives me $5. That's free. $5 for a whole year of playing. We split it in the middle, But if you don't have 7 friends, hop on a message board, hop on a forum. You'll find somebody to team up with. Send each other money by Venmo, PayPal, That's the way how to make it. If $20 is too much for you, $5 is probably okay for anybody to enjoy 12 months of games. But anyways, my point is playing Pokemon Online, that's a pretty nice feature, so that's all cool. Pokemon. I'm looking forward to it. Also, we'll probably get to look at the final build of the game. See how any of the graphical shine has been improved. The infamous tree at this point. Are the textures better? Any change up to the world, the scenery, any extra analysis given. That'll all be fun. Maybe the evolutions of the 3 starters. Oh, that should be cool. I hope that Grookey, because I'm Team Grookey, I hope he turns into like a massive raw gorilla with just a big tree on his shoulder, just a boom, 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 like a King Kong kind of looking thing. I love gorillas. I love King Kong. I love Donkey Kong. I've always liked gorillas at the zoo. Pretty much my favorite animal. So, Infernape was cool, and monkeys are cool and all, but I want to see Grookey go in full gorilla mode, like a big, nice green gorilla. Kind of like a combination of, like a Blastoise type body, but a little bit thinner. Massive green trunk over his shoulder. And maybe something unique about his body type, like a Venusaur, some bulb coming out or some giant leaf hanging off. I don't know. I have a couple ideas of how I would artistically create him, but we'll see. I'm excited. I'm excited. It's Pokemon, everybody. Come on. Be happy. Luigi's Mansion 3. It's going to be cool. I played that at E3, like I said, had a lot of fun with it. The booth itself was awesome at Nintendo's booth. You know, it's been a while since we've had Dark Moon come out, and of course, even longer since Luigi's Mansion on GameCube. Although we did have the remake on 3DS, so that was also handled well. That's fun. Daemon X Machina. You know, I played the demo in February, and it was fun. I did like it, but I am definitely happy that the developers took the time to go a little bit longer with the development and listen to the fans' feedback, try to improve things. So I'm hoping that the game is really solid because, you know, it's coming out in a couple of weeks and we might see the final build of it tomorrow. And Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening was really pretty at E3. Like, it felt really neat. The setup that they had, first of all, looked really cool. They had these model props all over, 4 of them, and the model props were kind of made out of like a high quality plastic clay-y kind of look, and it was similar to the game's style. So the whole aesthetic that they have going for it, the music, it's fantastic. It's going to be a really cool, different Zelda game. Different than Breath of the Wild, that is. Different than, you know, your recent 3D Zelda, Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess, but kind of, you know, old school at the same time, because it is an old school game made from 1993 that's being brought back to us 26 years later, right? So that's pretty cool. So it'll be different for some people, it'll be a nostalgia trip for others, and hopefully a solid game overall. I'm not doubting that that one's going to be successful. Now, what else? Banjo-Kazooie, like I said. I would love to have Banjo dropped today. I'd be very happy with that. Or in a couple of weeks. Either one. A new character, I'd be happy with that. Metroid Prime 4. That, I think, is my biggest hope. That or whatever Retro Studios has been working on for like the last 5 years. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze came out February 2014. It's been over 5 years. It's been 5.5 years since Retro Studios' last game came out. For a while, we thought that it might have been Star Fox Metroid Fusion Saga, but we found out that that was just a title that was not in development, but a development pitch that was considered between Nintendo and Retro Studios. I think that would have been a cool possibility, but that's not happening. But what are they working on? You know, have they just been helping Nintendo on the side with projects and stuff? Was it really a matter of, something started and didn't work out, so they had to redo it, started, and didn't work out, had to redo it? That seems like a horrible waste of time, because apparently November 2013 is when whatever they were working on as their new title began work. You know, a couple months before Donkey Kong came out, you know, the main development wrapped, some people stayed on it, and work shifted into some new project. We know now that they're working on Metroid Prime 4. We found out early this year that, you know, development has been changed over to MP4 and Retro Studios is at the helm. But, you know, maybe that began like November 2018, for instance. But you gotta think that they were working on something. So whatever Retro Studios is working on, I hope we see something. Please give me something. Start off with Retro Studios' next game is, and then show it. Or just show off this badass trailer for something, make everybody all hyped, and then at the end, Retro Studios. Oh, I don't know. That'd be cool. I'd be down for a Star Fox by Retro, an F-Zero game. Something new IP. I always thought that, kind of like how Perfect Dark was the spiritual successor to GoldenEye 007, I would love to see Retro Studios with their own first-person adventure, first-person shooter game as a spiritual successor to Metroid Prime trilogy. You know, see what they do. Take the game, you know, whether it's an earthly adventure, a city-focused game, a space game, but their new IP, an original IP of theirs, kind of like Metroid, but you know, their own deal. That would be exciting. Don't know if that's happening or not. Don't know if anything's happening, but you know, hopefully we get something from them. What else? A trailer for Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. That I would love. Hopefully, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that they'll show it. Some exciting thing for 2019. I don't believe that December has anything coming out from Nintendo, so could it be like a Super Mario Sunshine remake? A DLC so big that it's its own game itself. You could download the DLC to Super Mario Odyssey, which is a new island, and the new island is the entire game of Super Mario Sunshine. Wow, that would be pretty exciting. $40, boom. If you want to buy the game standalone, $50, boom. That'd be pretty dope. I don't know. That's exciting to me. The complete edition, Super Mario Odyssey plus Sunshine, you know, retail that, sell it off to the side for $90. Metroid Prime Trilogy, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Don't know if it's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Maybe it was something that was in development for a while and actually went out of development or is done and is just on pause for now because, you know, Retro Studios isn't done with Metroid Prime 4 yet. Won't be done for a year or two. And they want to release Prime Trilogy at a more appropriate time to build up the hype and not have too much time go between. Bayonetta 3! Could we see some Bayonetta 3 footage tomorrow? Gosh, we just got a little bit of that almost 2 years ago. December 2017 was the one and only time we saw anything on Bayonetta 3, so that would be cool. Animal Crossing, we know that that's coming in March next year. We've seen very little of that. Could we see some Animal Crossing footage tomorrow? Maybe. I'm thinking we're going to get something from 2020 tomorrow, whether it's something that we know about, like Animal Crossing, or one new game announcement altogether. We'll see something from 2020. I think we'll get one new game for December. I don't think Nintendo's going to go into the rest of this year without something. Maybe it'll be a Wii U port, something significant. Maybe it'll be a Pikmin 1, 2, 3 Trilogy HD port. Maybe we'll get an announcement of Pikmin 4. Finally, here's the target month or target quarter of 2020 or whenever we'll get that one. Super Mario 3D World, maybe. The Wonderful 101, maybe. Those are two Wii U games that I wouldn't mind seeing come over to Nintendo Switch. Hard to say, but I'm stoked. I will be here, either here or elsewhere, but I will be live streaming this, and I'm excited. Whew. If you have any thoughts, if you have any questions, you want to bounce some ideas off with me, share your opinions, anything, even how this video was presented, whether it's, you know, a thought on my video or a thought on tomorrow's Nintendo Direct, let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. This is Paul Gale from Paul Gale Network signing out. Hope you all have a great rest of your September 3rd. Bye. Let's see. How do I end this? Hopefully like this. Hopefully this doesn't like delete anything or anything. Okay. I'm experimenting right here. Bye, everybody.